Welcome back, beautiful New York tri-state area and beyond. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Welcome back to the Bosque Ranch Live speaker series brought to you by Bosque Ranch Live. Today, we're stepping into a moment where our culture is definitely shifting, where the lines between Hollywood and country music are not just blending, they're redefining each other in real time. Because what we're seeing right now is a full scale resurgence of Western storytelling, and it's not subtle. Series like Yellowstone have drawn millions of viewers per episode at their peak, while simultaneously driving measurable spikes in country music streaming, introducing audiences to artists through story, not just radio. And that pipeline, it's changing careers. At the center of that movement is Bosque Ranch, a 600-acre working ranch owned by Taylor Sheridan, now evolving into a live experience destination, culminating in the September 12th Bosque Ranch Live concert series. A rising country voice whose music has already been woven into the emotional fabric of Yellowstone and Landman is about to join me right now to help me tell that story. Her story aligns seamlessly with this modern Western movement, and she's now stepping into a new chapter. She's performed at Bosque Ranch Live before, but this time it's different. She's part of the experience itself. Dani Rose is a Nashville based country artist with performances at major festivals like Stagecoach and CMA Fest and features across film and TV, including Yellowstone and Fire Country. She's quickly becoming one of country music's most recognizable rising voices. Her viral hit, Got It From My Mama, has surpassed 1.2 billion views on TikTok alone, solidifying her as both a cultural force and an independent artist, carving her own lane with grit, heart, and unmistakable energy. Dani, welcome to the show, superstar.
Hey, thanks for having me, Zen.
Thank you so much for joining us. So, what's so interesting about artists emerging right now is that the path isn't linear anymore, right, Dani? If you look at the recent industry data, you have over 60% of independent artists are now building careers outside of traditional label systems. And that's often driven by storytelling platforms, sync placements, and really direct audience connection. So, Dani, I want to start at the beginning, before the placements, before the recognition. When did you first realize music wasn't just something you loved, but something you were willing to chase professionally?
I would say right after college, I really loved, of course, being in the spotlight and singing and writing songs. And I found out very quickly that there was nothing else that would satisfy that need to and that want to be on stage and perform and write songs, other than just being a professional artist.
Yeah. And when you look at the overall picture, that's where things shift because discovery today looks very different than it did even 5 years ago for artists, right? So we're seeing creators get pulled into major ecosystems through alignment, through sound and story and timing. And in your case, that alignment brought you into the world of Taylor Sheridan. Take us into that moment. How did that connection happen? And what led to your music being featured in his series?
So I would say there's always a point in time where hard work meets luck, and hard work and preparation meets luck. And that was the moment that I met the music supervisor from Yellowstone and Landman and Taylor's other shows at a birthday party in Los Angeles. I was just doing what I do, which is music, and I was performing at different places. And then I was invited to a birthday party just through a mutual friend, and I ended up sitting at a table next to Andrea von Forrester.
Well, when preparation meets opportunity, that's the success you're talking about, and there you go, and that's incredible because that's not just a break, that's almost like a placement of identity. You didn't just get discovered, you got positioned inside one of the most culturally defining narratives of this era.
I'm really lucky to be able to have music on the show. It has not only defined me as an artist, but it has also helped other people discover me. When you talk about discovery, because my music was included or is still included and will continue to be included in these shows, I'm placed on playlists. I'm in music journals, Rolling Stone, Billboard, and then people discover my music through those outlets as well.
And what's fascinating is that ripple effect, right, that you're talking about. Once your music is featured on TV, especially in high impact series, that often sees significant streaming increases like within days of airing. I mean, sometimes introducing artists to entirely new audiences overnight is what is happening here as a result of that ecosystem. So once your music became part of that world, how do you think your career began to really change and evolve?
I mean, it's kinda crazy, like, I think about the butterfly effect, right? It's like, if I hadn't, which is what you were talking about before, if I hadn't been friends with music supervisors or just, been myself in LA, I wouldn't have been invited to the birthday party. And if I hadn't been myself and, like, silly and stupid and talking about we were literally talking about dogs. We were sitting there. I didn't even know she was we were just talking about how much we love dogs. If I didn't love dogs, then we wouldn't have a conversation and we wouldn't have connected in such a deep level. So having that relationship with Andrea and then showing her my music and then still not even it wasn't very fast. It was 2 years later, having her say, "Hey, I would love to put some music in this show that I'm doing. It's called Yellowstone." And we didn't even know what it was at the time. I mean, we didn't know how good it was gonna be or how well it would take off. So I would say by season 4 is when things really started to just skyrocket for me and to be included and involved. It really gave me some clout here in Nashville, where I had moved from California. Even though I'm from Virginia, I had moved from California to Nashville. And the thing about Nashville is that if you're not here for a very, very, very long time, they will not accept you within the community. That's just something that has been a normal kind of cyclical thing here. But it is changing because, like you said, there are independent artists that are finding their way through music discovery without traditional labels, without being a part of this community. And being a part of Yellowstone really gave me that community card to join the entry point. So I would say not only did it help my career within music discovery and people hearing my songs, but it also helped me with a sense of community and belonging.
Yeah. So let's talk about that artistic identity. So we're in this era where country music is expanding, blending that cinematic storytelling, Americana, and emotional realism at the core of it all. In fact, country has been one of the fastest growing genres globally in recent years, particularly among younger audiences who are discovering it through shows like Yellowstone. So, how would you define your sound within this movement and what makes it yours?
It's interesting that you say, it's this moment, it's this intimate moment. My sound when I'm talking about sound, I really wanna talk about the feeling you get when you listen to a song. There's something about being honest, especially within music, that resonates with people that I found, and it's from performing live on stage to looking at people or watching people when they react to a certain line or a certain lyric, and my music is all about honesty. It's about the feelings that I have when I'm writing it, about a specific thing or person or place, and the way that that makes me feel. And that's always the goal as an artist. You want people to resonate with your music. You wanna help heal people, whether that's through crying or laughter or a combination of both. You wanna make sure that your sound is as authentic and as honest and real as it can be, and that's one of the things that I really strive for within all of my songs. And let me also say, I was never writing music for scenes in these specific scenes. It was always a song that I'd written, and then after I had put it out in the world, it was then placed into the show. So it fit specific themes. One of them that comes to mind, especially within Landman, when I was sitting around writing that with, 2 friends, we were writing about the feeling of when you go home and your parents are getting older and you feel like a kid and you haven't changed, but everything else around you changes. And it's this feeling of loss, of remorse, of wishing that you could go back in time and change change things, or just really you wish your parents were younger. You wish things weren't changing around you, but you really have no control. And then the feeling of going back to a place that you used to know and just feeling like a ghost in that time period. And that really resonated with a scene in Landman that we had where Demi is crying because she misses her husband that passed away recently, and she is literally so distraught, and that feeling of being so just emotionally pained really resonated from the song into the scene in Landman, and that's why I know that that connected with people.
That's beautifully said because you're right. The modern West isn't just a place anymore, it's a feeling. And artists like yourself are giving that feeling a voice. And in these moments and in these scenes, you help make that connection. And I think that's why your music lingers and you make that impact and you remember the song because you remember the words, because you remember the moment. And it's a beautiful effect. So when we look at collaboration, I heard a rumor that you may or may not have recorded something with Billy Bob Thornton. I saw this on your page. I wanna know more. Can you give us a little bit of insight?
I can give you a little bit of insight. I can't give you a lot, but I will tell you that I opened up for, Billy Bob Thornton and the Boxmasters, his band, in Montana, and from there, we developed a great relationship, and he's awesome, his band is awesome, and we got together in LA, and we were at his studio, and that is all that I can tell you about that. But whatever it is that's coming out, it's gonna be great. I'm really excited about
Okay, I'm definitely reading between the lines there.
it.
Now, bringing this full circle, the September 12th Bosque Ranch live music concert series is taking place. And this is an intentionally intimate event capped at, no more than 7 to 800 guests, right? Where music and land and storytelling really collide. And within that experience, there's a layer even deeper, a private late night performance reserved exclusively for overnight guests set under the Texas sky where the music becomes something really personal. And the artist behind that moment is you. So, what does it mean to you to return now, not just as a performer, but as part of the official Bosque Ranch live experience?
Well, first of all, I'm honored to be asked to do it, and I can't wait to be back. I love Bosque Ranch. I love everything about the working ranch and the people that are on it. This is gonna be a really special, intimate performance. This is such a cool thing that they are offering and that they asked me to do because you usually, in fact, almost never, you never get access to sitting around a campfire with an artist and hear their thoughts and their stories and the things behind the songs, and I can tell you what I think it's gonna be like, but you won't know about it until you're actually there. If you are a fan of Yellowstone, Landman, the TV shows, Taylor Sheridan, the actors, if you have watched that on TV and said, "Wow, I really love this. I want to somehow be close to this." You can't get any closer than coming to his ranch in Texas and sitting around a bonfire with me, who's had 5 songs on Yellowstone and a song on Landman and some other fun surprises coming up that I'll be able to share exclusively at Bosque Ranch. You're not gonna get a better opportunity than this. This is this is magical, and it's magical because you don't know what's gonna happen. As an artist and as artists, you talked about collaboration. There's gonna be some people there, there'll be actors. Gator will be there, who's the chef on the show, but he's also the chef of the night. We're gonna do some fun things. I don't know exactly what we're gonna do, but we're gonna be planning it out, and I know that for a fact because we've done it in the past, and these are things that you won't be able to experience unless you're actually there. So, I would encourage anybody that's thinking about it, come on out because this is a once in a lifetime kinda thing.
Well, I'm definitely convinced I will be there without a doubt with bells on. Uh, that gave me chills because that's not just a show, that's a memory imprint. That's the kind of moment people don't scroll past, they carry with them forever. Well, it has been so amazing chatting with you. I can't wait to hear I can't wait to hear your music live in person. I can't wait to meet you and give you a great big hug on the ranch and hang out with you. This has been so much fun, Danny. Thank you for coming on our show.
Thanks for having me. Can't wait to see you.
This is where curiosity turns into action. You should definitely secure your place at bosqueranchllive.com, and you can follow the incredible beautifully talented artist, Dani Rose, one of the most unforgettable performances of the night. You can head directly to her social media handle on the gram at Dani Rose and stay connected with the experience at Bosque Ranch Live headquarters on Instagram. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. That was the Bosque Ranch Live speaker series. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Bosque Ranch Live Concert Series. Country music's roots are deep and diverse, with stories told through raw emotion that bridge tradition and progress. Master storyteller Taylor Sheridan's Music Concert Series at Bosque Ranch offers audiences the chance to experience both the finest country music artists and up-and-coming artists, while celebrating the Western way of life and championing the people and brands that shape the community. Head to BosqueRanchLive.com to learn more.